Hi everyone and welcome to Service for the Community. I'm your host Matt Blow, and today we have Christine Rogers, who is the coordinator for the Academic Service Learning group for Clarkson Community Schools. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Well, first things first, what is Academic Service Learning?
So Academic Service Learning is a way that Clarkston teachers can hit their curriculum, which the state requires, but also teach their kids the skills to be active community members. So it would be like, instead of just teaching measurement and how to calculate area on a worksheet, you teach the kids how to measure and calculate area with one of the tie blankets. And then you end up donating the tie blankets to first responders or to Hurley Hospital for kids in the cancer wards. So it's teaching the kids the skills, but getting them to learn it for a reason and seeing the meaning behind
Getting
what
the
they
practical application of why you would want to know this historical fact or this geometry problem or something like that.
Yep, so it's a way to do the learning, but also get our kids to be better people too. Teach them the empathy skills, teach them that helping people makes you feel good at a young age and hopefully inspire lifelong activity in the community.
What's kind of the history of the academic, like how long have you guys been around? Have you guys had like a recent kind of uptick or anything like that?
So 17 years ago, Academic Service Learning was brought to the district through Renee Weaver Wright. She was in a grad class and brought the idea to our former Deputy Superintendent Dave Reschke. And we applied for and got a federal grant that required a matching grant from Clarkston schools. So back 17 years ago, it was a very small cohort of like 5 teachers. And I came on board in the second year, and we got trained and we learned what it was. And in the 17 years that Clarkston has had this program, we now fund it ourselves, and we've trained more than 400 teachers. And this year have 44 projects that are happening either in classrooms, at grade levels, or in a school-wide project.
So are you guys are in like every building then, effectively?
We are in every building. We have projects in every building, and like I said, we have 7 school-wide projects where every kid in Springfield Plains, Andersonville, Sashabaw, Renaissance High School are doing a service project that is connected to their community and to their curriculum.
Could you, I know you gave us some examples earlier, can you kind of give us an example of like what maybe like an average elementary school project would be versus maybe like an average like junior high or high school project might be?
So some of the high school projects that are new this year deal with the languages. Actually today, Senor Bialis and Mrs. Moore, the Spanish and French teachers, are taking their kids to the elementaries to read fairy tales in Spanish and French to the young K, first graders, and kindergartners at Pine Knob and Clarkson L. And so the curriculum is the high school kids wrote the fairy tales in the target language. So they wrote the fairy tales, they illustrated the fairy tales, they practiced their learning, and then their service is they're taking their books to the elementaries to kind of teach the kids how cool Spanish is or how much fun French would be, so that they can kind of round out their co-curriculars and get the kids exposed to something that they can do when they grow up. So it's a really cool activity. The elementary, some of the elementaries, we have things like the blankets that I had mentioned before. I was just in a classroom at Clarkson L 2 days ago, and they're working on sound access for all. A 4th grade team is looking at how loud the cafeteria is, and they were starting to hear rumors that the kindergartners were so overwhelmed that some of them weren't eating lunch because it was so loud in there. And the teachers were seeing the kids come back from lunch just stressed out and on edge. And so the 4th graders analyzed the sound, they mapped it out, and then they made action plans about how to better insulate and how to arrange things and how to come up with rules in the cafeteria that will help the kids control the noise. And I was blown away by how engaged these 4th graders were. It's May, it's starting to get warm, but they really cared about their project because they knew they were making a positive change. And along the way, they learned math, and they learned about sound waves, and they worked on their literacy by presenting their action plan to Mr. Adams. So it was a very cool project to see happening.
Are there any other big projects you guys are I know you guys are kind of wrapping up with the school year kind of wrapping up. Any other big projects that are currently underway?
I think there are a few projects wrapping up, especially with the snow days. It's been hard to get everything in. We have At the 8th grade level, Mrs. Cozen does an energy conservation calendar where her kids have learned about the watersheds in the area, and they are making calendars that they will share with an elementary school to teach kids better to protect their environment. I know that one's happening. Mr. Paddock in the junior high is having a solar cookout. His conceptual physics class was learning about the energy of the sun, and for their service, they are going to create a cooking apparatus.
Kind of like a solar grill?
A solar grill, and then they're going to go to one of our partners, the Clarkson Family Farm, and they will have a snack with the Independence Elementary kids, again, showing them how the sun works, showing them the physics, but also having a good time with the kids at the family farm. So an excellent way to wrap up our spring, our weather that's very nice.
Very nice way to segue into the summer.
Yes, yes.
Very nice. Well, is there anything else you kind of want to touch upon regarding academic service learning? I feel like those are a lot of the big things.
Just knowing that this is something that the district supports at a high level, and kids all across the district are becoming better citizens and learning. And having the community know that we're doing this and supporting the teachers, and when you see kids in the community doing academic service learning, know that it's not just volunteering. There's an additional level. These kids are actually learning skills for school and for life that will help them in the future.
If people want more information, is there a website or an email they can go to?
Yes, on Clarkson Community Schools website, under the academics drop-down menu, academic service learning, we have our own page.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for stopping by today. That's all the time we have for this episode of Service for the Community. We'll see you folks next time.